Hey, and welcome back to another video. And in this video I will be creating a habit tracker app, and I'll be going through the process step by step of how I will create this app. So what is the idea? So the idea is to create a web app that will allow me to add new habits and create a view where I can tap a box that will complete the habit for that day. The idea is to make it intuitive for new users to come in and track their habits. So what do I need for an MVP? So for those who don't know, an MVP means the minimum viable product. So with the minimum viable product, these are your core features that you need in order for it to be usable, essentially. So number one is the ability to add new habits. Number two is the ability to track habits and complete a day by tapping complete. Number three is to break out each month into a box-like view, similar to how GitHub creates its heat maps for the year. Number four is create a yearly heat map for that specific habit. Number five is to make it visually appealing to me and others who may want to use the app in the future. Number six is each habit should have its own page. Number seven is the dashboard should list all of the habits within the current month boxes and a button to view more. And number eight is, since I won't be connecting it to a database at this point, the app should be able to persist its data in local storage. So when I start a new project, the first thing that I want to do is think about the user interface. So I use Google Images and I just type in what the app is, UI, and then a desktop version, as I'm developing this for desktop. And then in Google Images, you'll see a bunch of different images of different habit trackers and different UIs. I also use Behance.net and also Dribble.com, and this just allows me to gain some more inspiration for certain things. I can have a look on stuff here. It might give me inspiration about how I want things to look on my app. So that's how I would find out what I want the UX to look like. So I'll be using Cursor, which is essentially VS Code with AI built into it. So essentially I gave it the acceptance criteria, so I just pasted in the MVP stuff from Notion into here. And then it created a data structure for the local storage and then a nice little folder structure which I followed here. And essentially it's generated all of this code, which I've then asked it to fix a few things as it's generated because some things didn't work. And then it got to the point at the bottom now where we were creating 404 pages and stuff. But just for total transparency, the only thing that I've written in this code base are these little index files, and this is just to clean up the imports later down the line to keep them all nice and clean. But apart from that, the dashboard to the habits to the monthly view and to the heat maps, everything in this code base has been generated by Claude. So I'm going to show you how it looks because I'm quite impressed. So if I just minimize this and go into the habit tracker, as you can see now, this is after 1 hour and 30 minutes, and it's blown me away how nice it looks and what I have at the moment. So for example, it tells you your current active habits that you have and how many you've completed today. So today is the 21st of January. So as you can see, as I select and unselect them, that number updates, which is good. And then for example, gym, I've just filled in some mock data and it says 11 days this month. And for YouTube, obviously I'm still gonna input those in, but it updates quite nicely. And then also when you go into view the details, it comes into another view, kind of what I was envisioning with the total completed. I didn't have a streak thing in mind when I was making the ACs, but it might just integrate that as like a little feature But essentially, as you start completing these, there's a little progress bar for the month, which I think is pretty cool as well. There's still a few styling amendments that I need to make for this because I think this is a bit too big. But essentially, it's kind of got the core things that I was looking for. So at the bottom, it's got like the GitHub like heat map. So as you start clicking in more of these, you see those boxes at the bottom start to get filled in. The back to dashboard page doesn't work yet. Oh, that button doesn't work, so I need to fix that. But if I go back to the home page, everything else in here is kind of what I wanted. And that's only within an hour and a half worth of prompt generation. So yeah, I'm quite impressed. And obviously this isn't the final product yet, so I'm still going to be building it as we go along. But for a first pass, I think this is pretty impressive. And that's it. This is my habit tracker app. It's simple, effective, and it's designed to help you stay consistent with your goals. And I'm gonna give you a demo of what it can do. So in here in the header, we're gonna enter a new habit and we'll call it YouTube. And we'll add the habit, and it adds a new entry into this grid. So let's fill in some days. So let's just fill in these 2 weeks worth of days here. And then we can view the details, and inside of the details page, you'll see the total completions, a GitHub like yearly overview and the heat map, and then also the monthly progress, which you have a progress bar, and you can also select and unselect days as well, which is pretty nice. You can also delete the habit. Clicking on that, it will bring up a modal if you wanted to delete it from the details page. If you go back to the dashboard, you also have the option to do it from here as well, if you needed to. And essentially, this was done in under 5 hours. And as a software engineer, I'm used to writing code and building things from scratch, but this time I didn't write a single line of code. Instead, I used Cursor, which streamlined the entire process, and it let me focus on the idea and functionality without getting stuck in the development process, which was a different way of building for me. And honestly, it was kind of refreshing as well. So if you're curious to see more about how tools like CursorAI can transform your workflow and the way that we create and show more apps, be sure to drop a like and subscribe and drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this and what your ideas are for what I should build next. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.